What's going on, guys? Seth here from Team Union Seth. I am the coach of the Westside Weaviles, and we are here for our Week 5 Team Builder against the Tampa Bay Tyranitars. So, we didn't have a Team Builder or a match last week because our opponent just wasn't able to get the match in. He has finals and a lot of other things going on, and he just didn't find the time to do the match. So, we are jumping right into Week 5. I am currently 4-0. And the Tampa Bay Tyranitars are currently 0-4. So, my team, as you guys may know by now, I have Landorus, Therian, Kirm, Chestnut, Jolteon, Aromatisse, Ribombee, Regice, Scizor, Silvally, Incineroar, Terrakion, and Mega Slowbro, while his team consists of Garchomp, Conkeldurr, Electros, Meloetta, Gourgeist, Cacturne, Drifblim, Heatran, Skarmory, Scrafty, Hitmontop, and Mega Gyarados. So, going over my team real quick, I decided to start off with the Mega Slowbro. Now, as you guys know, I usually like to keep my Slowbro in regular form rather than Mega Evolving right away, because I have that Regenerator, and if I need to switch out, I can do so. But basically, we have the Slowbro, Mega Slowbro with Regenerator, with Calm Mind, Scald, Ice Beam, and Slack Off. And then he has 248 in HP, 252 in defense, and 8 in special defense. So basically, this thing is going to be my setup sweeper. So this thing is going to finish the end game. It's going to Calm Mind up, Mega Evolve, and then sweep the rest of his team. So a couple things that I do have to look out for is the Gyarados. I don't really do a whole lot of damage to the Gyarados, and he'll do a lot back to me with the Crunch. Not a whole lot because this thing is ridiculously bulky, but he will do a good amount. Scrafty is a problem. And Skarmory, if it does have the Whirlwind, that could also be a problem. But a lot of other things on his team, I can just, if I can get some chip damage, weaken them a little bit, I can set up and sweep with this thing in the end game. So I was gonna put Signal Beam on here for the Meloetta, but I just really wasn't comfortable without Slack Off. So I wanted to make sure I had that recovery as I go to set up and sweep. This thing can also take hits from the Conkeldurr, can take hits from the Hitmontop and the Heatran, and take them on pretty well. So, that is our Slowbro. Moving on, we have Kirm, the Winter Soldier, with the Life Orb, and Pressure, obviously, with Ice Beam, Earth Power, Signal Beam, and Roost. So, he has 8 EVs in HP, 252 in Special Attack, and 248 in Speed, with a modest nature. So, this thing does outspeed the Mega Gyarados if it is max speed Jolly. And Kirm is mainly just meant to be a wall breaker, so just to punch holes through his team. Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Signal Beam hit most of his team pretty well. A lot of things super effectively. I mean, Ice Beam for Garchomp, Signal Beam for Meloetta, Ice Beam for Gourgeist, Ice Beam for Cacturne, Ice Beam for Drifblim, Earth Power for Heatran. Ice Beam's going to do a lot to Skarmory. Signal Beam for the Gyarados. There's a couple things we don't hit super effectively. But Ice Beam hits everything super hard anyway, and Roost is mainly there just for longevity, so I can switch in, take a couple Life Orb hits, Roost back up, and then, I could Roost on a switch or Roost on something like that. So just being able to get back up health and make this thing be able to survive and punch even more holes through his team. So that is that for our Kirm. Moving on, we have Black Panther, our Incineroar, holding the Assault Vest with Intimidate, and his moves are Flamethrower, Earthquake, Knock Off, and Drain Punch. For his EVs, he has 116 in attack, 252 in special defense, and 140 in speed with a lonely nature. So, the goal of this Incineroar is to be our check to Meloetta. So, a Focus Blast from Meloetta is still going to do a lot of damage. It still does a lot of damage. Does around 50%, a little bit less. But we are able to switch into it somewhat, especially if he goes for a Psychic or something like that. Obviously, we're able to switch into it. Heatran, this thing is also a great switch for Heatran, that's why we're rocking the Earthquake. Knockoff is for the Meloetta, obviously. Flamethrower is for the Skarmory, it does a lot more than Fire Punch or Flare Blitz would. So that is why this guy is here, and also just as a general pivot for us. So, the speed, we outspeed a no-speed Heatran. So if he's running a defensive Heatran with no speed, we will outspeed that. So we do get a chance to outrun that, that also helps us outspeed Skarmory. Hitmontop, and that's about it. So, that is it for our Incineroar. Moving on, we have our Captain America, so Landorus Therian form, with the Flyinium Z and the Intimidate, rocking Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Earthquake, and Fly. So what's cool about this set is it's defensive to take on the Conk and the Garchomp and other physical threats he may have, the Scrafty, Hitmontop, even the Gyarados potentially. But it does have the Flyadium Z, which does OHKO any of his fighting types. So Hitmontop, Scrafty, and Conkeldurr. The Z-Fly does OHKO all of those, as well as it does a tremendous amount of damage to Gourgeist and to Cacturne, and pretty much anything else he wants to bring in. This thing is going to hit very hard with the Z-Fly, and it's bulky enough it's going to be able to take a lot of hits, get rocks up, and U-turn out of there for some momentum. So I really like this set. I thought it was really cool. I knew I wanted the Flyadium Z, but I also wanted this thing's bulk. It does live in Ice Punch from the Conkeldurr. So from a Life Orb Iron Fist Conkeldurr, we're living in Ice Punch, and like I said, we can fire back with the Fly. So we can switch in on a potential Ice Punch, take it, hit him back with the Z-Fly. So if he sees us taking that Ice Punch, I don't think he'll think we're Z. I think he'll assume that we're just a defensive variant, and we're going to want to U-turn or do whatever and get out of there. And then we can hit him with the Z-Fly and knock him out of there. So next up, we have Hulk, our Chestnut, holding the Earth Plate with Bulletproof. So his moves are Drain Punch, Earthquake, Leech Seed, and Synthesis. Now the Earth Plate may seem kind of weird. I'm going to the EVs for a second. He's got 248 in HP, 152 in defense, and 108 in speed with an Impish nature. So this thing also outspeeds his Heatran. So obviously it's not going to be a switch into Heatran. This thing does not want to take a Lava Plume or Magma Storm, whatever. But it does outspeed the Heatran by 1 point, and an Earth Plate Earthquake knocks him out 100% of the time after rocks. So once that Heatran switches in on rocks, an Earth Plate Earthquake from this thing will knock out the Heatran 100% of the time. So with that, with Bulletproof, we are also able to excuse me. So his moves, we have the Drain Punch for just general coverage. Can also help with the Heatran. It's here for Gyarados mainly, though. This thing is our main Gyarados check. Like I said, we have the Earthquake for the Heatran. This thing can also just take hits from Conk and from Garchomp and fire back a Leech Seed, recover with a Synthesis, anything like that. I was thinking about putting Spiky Shield over Synthesis, and I realized, especially without leftovers, I just wanted that extra recovery from Synthesis. So that's what we decided to rock with. And then we just put the rest into HP and defense after we were able to put in that speed. So last but not least here, we have Thor, our Jolteon, with the choice specs this week and Volt Absorb. He's got Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ground, and Signal Beam. His only ground type is Garchomp. And given the matchup, I really don't see him bringing it. I think a Scarf Kirm is very possible on my part. I'm thinking he thinks the Scarf Kirm is very possible to outspeed the Garchomp. And against my team, the Garchomp just doesn't have that great of a matchup. I mean, I have the Slowbro, I have the Landorus, I have the Chestnut. I don't really see him bringing it, which is why I brought a Specs Jolteon. So if he does for some reason bring the Garchomp, I will just switch out. I have counters to the Garchomp. That's not an issue. But other than that, Volt Switch does an incredible amount to everything on his team. It's crazy how much damage this thing can do to everything on his team. And then throw in Thunderbolt. If that Garchomp's not there, I am wrecking lives. Jolteon is a killer. And I'm able to run Modest because his team is so slow. His fastest Mon is Garchomp at 102. And I'm not even outspeeding that. I actually have enough speed to outspeed the Meloetta. Because like I said, I don't see Garchomp coming. And even if it does, I'm switching out. I have no reason to outspeed that thing. So that's why I'm not running Hidden Power Ice. I didn't see it necessary, as I don't think he's going to bring the Garchomp. So I'm outspeeding Meloetta, and it only takes 44 speed. So I'm able to run Max Special Attack and Modest, which is, this thing's hitting even harder. I have 208 in HP, and then 4 in Special Defense. The 208 is just to make sure that the HP number is not divisible by 4. And then the extra in Special Defense is just what I had left over. So that is this set. Volt Switch Thunderbolt, obviously just stab, hits super hard. Hidden Power Ground for the Heatran, again, does a tremendous amount of damage, and the Signal Beam is for that Meloetta, if necessary. So that is the team. So hopefully we will be able to pull out a win this week. I do feel very prepared for this matchup. I do feel really, really good about it. I think we have brought a very good team, and I'm super excited for this match this week. So drop a like, comment. I will make sure to respond to you guys if you guys do leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think I did well? What do you think I could change on the team? What do you think I could do better? Let me know what you guys think. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video.